Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another Inside Lowell podcast as we go inside the Pirates, the Massachusetts Pirates. I am your host, Teddy Panos, coming here from the WellPoint Studios here in beautiful downtown Lowell. Unicare is now WellPoint. New name, same commitment to its members. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. We thank our friends at WellPoint for helping to make this podcast possible. I want to thank all of our podcast sponsors here at Inside Lowell, and that includes our friends at the Washington Savings Bank. Make the switch now to Washington Savings Bank. TMI Properties, from affordable to luxurious apartments for all. Boston North Company, business solutions for restaurant and retail. Mahoney Oil, providing warmth and protection to Greater Lowell and Southern New Hampshire since 1925. A&M Auto Body, the newest member of our Inside Lowell family. Superior and quick service from the most skilled technicians around. Francis E. Preventure Insurance, the agency Greater Lowell has counted on for more than 41 years. And last, but certainly not least, the aforementioned Massachusetts Pirates, bringing all the hard-hitting action and excitement of arena football to downtown Lowell. And with that in mind, let us bring in the offensive coordinator of those Massachusetts Pirates. He's joining us here on the Zoom line. Bones Bagaunte is joining us. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing fine, man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for taking time out of what I know is a crazy schedule, especially as we get here to the home stretches of the season. Three games to go, and I want to talk a little bit about this week's upcoming game, which happens to be your final home game of the season as well. But first, I want to introduce you to our audience there, get to know a little bit about you. First thing that jumps out to me, Coach, is the name Bones Bagaunte. Is that, I assume that's a nickname that you've had for a few years now?
Oh, no, it's actually my legal name, Bones Bagaunte.
Is it really? No kidding.
Yeah, yes. It's actually my legal name, yes.
You may be the first Bones I've known that's had that as their legal name. Yeah, obviously, your folks knew you were going to grow up to be skinny and athletic, right?
Of course.
My parents would never call me Bones. They would have made my name Flab had they known what I would turn into. But you actually, before becoming a coach with the Pirates, you actually played for them, right?
Yes. I played with them back when Jawad had just finished playing himself, and he had that year with the Boston Blaze, and then coming up to the Pirates. And it's been a interesting but fun ride with them so far.
And you played receiver, and as I understand it, your name was on that record book in a couple of different places, right?
Yeah. I put up some numbers, not as much as I could have. That season that I played here, I set out, I'll say, the first 5 or 6 games. So those records could have been a little bit more.
Makes it quite impressive. Now you're helping to coach guys who are trying to take those records down and erase you from that record book. Talk a little bit about playing that position, wide receiver, in the indoor football league, and what are some of the challenges behind it, and how has playing the position kind of allowed you to help coach offensively in the league?
Well, playing the receiver position, indoor or outdoor, is a difficult position in itself, because you can do your job right, and if someone else doesn't, it can affect your play and if you get the ball or not. So you have to do your best to always be where you're supposed to be relied upon from the QB, and the coaching staff, so they can call plays to implement you in more, because they feel as though you can help the team out more. Now, going to indoor, it wasn't a hard transition for me, be it as though I came from the University of Cincinnati with Brian Kelly as our coach, and we ran a predominantly spread offense. We were running 100, 110 plays a game sometimes, so it was very high paced. It was very up. It was very action forward, and that's what arena football is. So I've learned several things playing arena football, but I'll tell you the 2 secrets that'll help a lot of guys out. So for one, you never have to run full speed in your routes in arena, because the field is only 50 yards and we get a 10-yard head start. So if you start full speed already, they're going to back up another 5 yards, and then you'll never be able to outrun them. So that's for one. And number 2, the angles are different. So a traditional post route where you get to 13, 14 yards and you stick nod and aim for the goalpost, it's going to be different in indoor. It's more based off of leverage and not landmarks because the field is smaller, the throwing windows are shorter. So those are some things I had to adjust with, and it took me a year. Even with my spread offensive background, it took me a year to get acclimated. But once I did, I took it in stride and went off running.
Fascinating. I bet a lot of the folks who are watching or listening to this podcast aren't aware of that. How for those of us who never played competitively, and especially the modern NFL or NFL IFL game where passing is so prevalent, how much time does it take to develop that chemistry as an offensive unit, especially between receiver and quarterback? Because I mean, you have to make reads, right? Even after the huddle, you've got to read the defense yourself. Kind of the quarterback has to read it, and you make adjustments right middle of the play almost, or right before the ball is snapped. How long does it take to develop that chemistry?
Oh, well, I'll tell you this: it can happen one or two ways. On the short end, it'll take, I'll say, a couple weeks after training camp, so about 3 to 4 weeks. And on the long end, it could take about 6 to 7 weeks or a whole season. It just varies because you have to think, not only does the quarterback has to be on point with one receiver, he has to be on point with three in this league. And outdoor, it could be 4 or 5 receivers. So all of the receivers have to be on the same page because of spacing. We have limited spacing. I believe it's like 28 yards wide, the field, and it's only 50 yards long. So if we're 1 or 2 yards off, it may not seem a lot in outdoor ball, but in indoor ball, that can mean the difference between an incomplete pass and a touchdown. So the time may vary, but it's just all about the want to and the staying after and getting your film study because, like you said, when I'm in high motion and I see a jack rolling down, which typically would be an outdoor nickel, and I know I got to go inside because of this route because he has this, or I have to go outside because the backside has a route, those things matter a lot because one or two steps here or there, and the quarterback may have a smaller window.
So, given you obviously know the position. You played it, and as you mentioned, you played it in a high-powered spread offense in college, and then indoor football, and now you're coaching it. You got a very talented group of receivers. Given that, as I look at you guys playing, it seems like you're leaning very heavily on the run. It seems like more so than a lot of the teams that you're playing. Is that why is that? Is that accurate? Is my perception accurate? And if so, why is that? Given your background,
it is accurate. We came out and went bombs over Baghdad for the first 3 to 4 games. And it was very exciting. And with that, it's a gift and a curse because now we're getting a lot of deeper coverages because teams don't want to get beat deep. But we have a gifted running back in Jimmy Robertson, so we can just hand him the ball off. Since they want to play deep in coverage, we'll just bring them up with the run game. And if they don't want to come up, then Jimmy will have 200-300 yards running.
He's about as good as it gets, right? At this level of football,
Absolutely.
just watching him is amazing.
Absolutely, man. He's one of the best in the business. We're fortunate to have him. And I wouldn't be surprised if I seen him on a UFL or NFL roster or even a CFL roster after this.
Yeah, that certainly would be great, and especially for those of us who've gone to the games over there at the Songas to be able to say we saw an NFL player before he got there. We're chatting with Bones Bagaunte. He is the offensive coordinator for the Massachusetts Pirates. This week, they play their final home game, I should say, of the season at the Songa Center. It's a Monday night game against the Quad City Steamrollers. Monday night. You haven't had one of these. You had a couple of Sunday games, I think, earlier in the year, but you've never had a Monday. Little extra time to prepare for this week. That has to help, right?
Yeah, always help. Preparation is key. We played them first, and we went on the road, and we laid an egg. We laid an egg out there. I'll be the first to admit it. We laid an egg, and we missed some stuff on offense. And I took that as a personal loss. I took that personally. And I even reached out to the team and the guys, and I was just like, "This will never happen again." So. With that being said, them coming in and the stage being set for Monday night football, that almost makes it an NFL aura type of thing, And I mean, we're in for a good one. And if the Mass Pirates have a Mass Pirates game and Alejandro Benefield has a Alejandro Benefield game, I have no doubt in my mind that we'll be victorious. And with this win, I believe we'll cement ourselves in the playoff race.
Yeah, as I'm looking at the standings, one more win will clinch a playoff spot. Is that correct?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you could do that in front of the home crowd. What's it been like for you guys to play in Lowell? First season in Lowell after being in Worcester, leading up to this season. Have you enjoyed your time in the Mill City?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, everybody in the community is so welcoming. And, we haven't got a chance to get the rowdy college kids in there yet. But, I can see next year and the year after that being a mainstay for the team. But everybody in the community has been welcoming. The mayor, literally anybody you can name it that has anything to deal with Lowell has been welcoming, and it just felt nice to have the community behind us. And with a record like we have, starting out the way we have, I mean, it's a sense of urgency around the team because we do feel as though that we're letting you down in a sense, but we're gonna pick it back up and we're going to finish out strong and bring that championship home.
Well, I can tell you we're excited to have you here. We had both a minor league pro baseball team, a Red Sox affiliate, and an AHL pro hockey team here, and both disappeared. So when we got word that the Pirates were coming back, there's certainly a lot of excitement, especially for me being a sports fan. Before I let you go, I want to talk a little bit about your motto, which I saw on your website, but also something I learned from an interview you did on radio this morning, that when the football season ends, you go back home to Maryland and you've got a nonprofit that basically runs around and improves the parks areas where kids in your community are playing. And your motto is do more, say less. I'm going to guess that applies both to your work as a football coach and a player, but also to your work in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I got a great group of guys that help me with this. We're still in our infancy, so we're still on a grassroots type situation, but we're getting a lot done. We starting basketball leagues for children and men's adult basketball leagues on top of that. And it's just a situation where we want to get as many people out and about on the weekends that they will be doing something with their idle time that's not quite productive for the community. So if we can clean up more parks, if we can teach them how to diet, if we can teach them how to exercise, how to work out, and they will excel in the sports that their parents put them in, then they won't shy away from them when they have struggles and stuff. And, we get a lot of instances where it's a lot of kids that have potential and they struggle here and there and they don't know how to take it, especially with today's youth. They're so quick to quit because they haven't been challenged. So that's the thing we try to focus on. And it's the same with adults. We got to put you in a situation where you're around like-minded people who want the best for you, who are positive, and that's what the men's league is about. I mean, it doesn't hurt that they have a prize at the end either.
It certainly doesn't hurt, and I'm sure it's a great benefit to the community down there. Coach Bones Bagaunte, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck this coming Monday night. Good luck the rest of the season, and let's hope for a nice long playoff run as well, okay?
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Coach. That is Bones Bagaunte, offensive coordinator for your Massachusetts Pirates, joining us as we go inside the Pirates here at Inside Lowell. As we like to say, if Lowell is your home, this is your place. Till next time, stay safe, everybody.